that, let's get into it. John chapter 4, verse 14. But whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. The water I give them will become in them a spring water welling up to eternal life. I'm reading NIV. Okay? Yep, John chapter 4, verse 14, NIV version. That's what I read. Okay? Now, your coach is not, at the end of the day, like, I don't melt if I'm, offered a correction, right? Because we're here to grow together, okay? As per me and this, John chapter 4, verse 14, I am reading from the NIV version, okay? So, the message for today is we have the freedom and solutions to grow past the issues with tissues. So how does that look like? Issues with tissues. When I was a little girl, I would watch these movies, right? Because I've always been a lovey pokey type of person, right? Like I love happily ever ending movies. That movie where I think it's called She's All That or something like that, where he comes down the stairway or she comes down the stairs and he looks at her and there's music in the background and she finally gets her boo, or that Dirty Dancing type of movie. Now, this was me back in the day, right? Let's make that clear. Where, he's like, don't you put baby in the corner. I loved watching movies like that. And that's literally what led me to hope for love and want love like that, right? And when it wasn't there, just like the woman I was watching, I would have issues with tissues. And what that would look like is that overwhelming emotional feeling like you're crying all day. And the box of tissue is your best friend. And I would see this woman on the couch just crying around her friends. Like she'd have the same outfit on all day for the whole week. I'm imagining like a gray sweatsuit type of outfit. Or from, to be honest with you, for me, I ain't got no time for no sweatsuit. But I will wear a grandmama robe at the end of the day and be really comfortable in my issues. Okay? That is honestly how I fought my battles. That tissue box was my go-to. Cry me some tears, cry me a river, listen to NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and all those other tearjerkers that I can think of. And the issues don't have to just be about relationship, right? That was an example. But I had relationship issues, not just partner-wise, not just because I have a man and my man is not, comforting me or doing what I want them to do or showing up how I want them to show up. They're not seeing me. They're not hearing me. It wasn't just the man. It was how you feel as a mom, how you feel as a coworker, how you feel as a you, the being. How strong can we sometimes be in our emotions and they overtake sometimes what we even have to do. And these are all kinds of emotions, right? All kinds of emotions where there's no more capacity to process exactly what's going on because maybe you thought it should have went a different way. I felt there's sometimes you get so much pressure when it comes to being a woman. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section what we be pressured about. Because a lot of times it's the relationship got to look right. You got to have kids at a certain age. Your weight got to be popping. You expected to do all kinds of things. And we are tired. It gets like a race that is so overwhelming. So I'm going to go to my tissue. You ain't got to see me with my tissue box. It just be me and Jesus. Issues with tissue becomes when we are so compressed in the feeling, when it needs to be processed and unpacked, but where's the avenue to do it? You're no longer strong enough to withhold the worry about the children. Like you're overwhelmed because you're doing everything. There's so much responsibility in your life, your emotions. They say, oh, you're so emotional. You're so emotional. But I get to go through disappointments. I get to go through challenges. I get to go through heartbreak. You know why? Because I'm not staying there. You're not staying there. You're not staying there. Why? Because we've recognized that the pain has purpose. We recognize that there's only a matter of time that my Father is going to show his face when I get past the issue with tissues. Because the issues with tissues become, that tissue got beef with you, sis. You need to put that box down. You need to put that box down at a certain point because you're overusing the box. Now, you may say, Coach, but who are you to say that to me? And I will offer you this. This is what I will offer you. The word that says to us, worry about nothing and pray about everything. The word that says to us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your crooked path straight. The word that is telling us this morning, whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. So you can have beef with your coach all you want if I'm here sitting telling you that that tissue box is getting weirded out by you. And I say that in a loving way because it's not that you won't need the box. It's not that you don't need the tissue. God knows our pain. He knows our emotion. He created us to feel them. It's when we're stuck with the box on the couch and we're not getting up and we're not moving and we're allowing our crowns to tilt so much that we're losing who we are. When the Father gives us these words that remind us, trust him. If you're going to worry, pray about it. But if you're thirsty, and this is how I saw in the vision as I was taking my notes. This is what I saw God was actually showing to me. I want you to picture yourself in the fighting ring and you're fighting. What is it that you're fighting? Who is it that you're fighting? Your blows, you keep throwing blows at it. The pressure, the anger, the frustration, the discouragement, you're just throwing blows. But you get so tired. What do boxers do? They got to take a break. They got to come to the sideline. They got to come through the sideline. They got to. They got to come through the sideline and they got to take a break or they will tired out. And when they take that moment, what do the coach give them? Something to drink. What is God saying to us this morning? He wants us to drink from his living water. Perhaps you need a break. Perhaps you need a timeout. Does that mean when that boxer takes the break, does that mean he lost the match? What happens when he gets back in the ring? Sometimes someone could be so beat up. Let's even take a football team, because I watch football with my son and Renard. My hubby, they just love football. Now you best to believe God will not take my time up without teaching me something, okay, about watching football. I happen to love football too. And there are times that the team waits till the last seconds and they're losing and takes timeouts. And what you see some of the players doing, breathing, drinking their water, taking a break, and they go back in better than ever. They're rejuvenated. They've had time to think and process. They're not sitting here crying about the fact that they're 0-7. The boxer is not going back like, dang, I'm about to lose this and start crying. Nah, he's like, give me this water. We have Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Let me go back at him. I'm giving the enemy a black eye. I don't care how I felt before. I got Jesus. I got his word. I got it. So I'm not even stepping back into life, back into the ring, back into the workplace, back into this to the home, back into some of the relationships that you could run from, but maybe God has you in for you to grow, for them to grow. You're not going back into the question you have to answer, the situation you have to deal with as yourself. You're going back with the living water. You know why? Because he says so. It says the water I give them will become in them a spring of water, welling up to eternal life. And what that looks like for me is once I drink my water, it's in me. That means, all right, Stephanie, you down for now? 30 minutes a day, 2, 3, and we grown women, right? So if I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, when it's about that time of the month, I could really be an emotional wreck of a I don't know what. Okay. And so this means that during that time, that living water is still in me. Whenever you could just take a moment and say, all right, who is around me when I feel angry, frustrated, discouraged, uncertain? Who brings that to me? Right? What am I doing when I feel those type of ways? So that you could start unpacking. Compared to when you're feeling re-energized, revived, refueled, right? Because again, when we trust God, as I wrap up, when we trust God, we have freedom and solutions to grow past the issue with tissues. So the issues may come up, but how you deal with them is a game changer.